Hey there, Drawyah here, and welcome to Microsoft Flight Simulator. Today, taking flights in the Airbus A320neo, and today flying in Lauda colours. So, flying Lauda flight today, 9759 from here in Vienna to Lappeenranta, and flight time today is just around 2-3 hours today, so got a fair bit of flight today, fair bit of cruise, but should be rather good. So we'll set the aircraft up, we'll prepare ourselves for boarding, and we shall be flying with well, ATC today, so we have got active IVAO, we've got active controllers, and so we do have someone to talk to today, which should be nice and cool. So we'll jump into the aircraft, and let's start setting everything up for flights today. Welcome everyone. So, batteries on, silence the alarm, and let's turn on the... not yet, no, I won't turn the fuel pumps on yet, still need to refuel the aircraft, so I'll do that. Set the IRS to align, sets the air conditioning up, turn on the panel brightness, and these two. And also on the overhead panels, turn on the external power, bring power into the aircraft, let everything do their self-test, and hopefully not too long until we're up in the air. So, using the full set of add-ons today, so we are using PAX, we are using IVAO, we are using the A320neo X projects, and so we are using all the fancy stuff today, which should be rather cool. So let's set the aircraft up and prepare it for flights today. MCDU, let's turn on brightness, and set up our flights today. So flying from Vienna, Lima, Oscar, Whiskey Whiskey, to Lappeenranta, which is Echo Foxtrot Lima Papa. Not in database, I'm sure it is. Thank you. Flight number is FR9759. And we'll talk about our flight in a moment, because there's a few interesting extras that come with the fact of flying Lauda today. And, well, that's the fact that we're actually flying Ryanair today, of all airlines, which is rather cool. So, the owner of Lauda is Ryanair, and just a couple of months ago, they completely changed how the company was formed, and as a result, Laudamotion no longer exists. All airlines operate under the Ryanair call sign, and all flights under Ryanair flight numbers. So, contacting ATC today, we no longer contact ourselves as Lauda, but instead we'll be calling out as Ryanair. So, that'll be something to keep in the back of my mind today when we do our flights. But, yeah, it should be rather cool, that's. So, let's, well, the initialization, the IRS is going to align, and so while we're here, let's go load our passengers today. So, start flights, flying from Vienna to Lappeenranta, flying at Ryanair 9759, 35,000 feet, so 2 hour 42 flight time, we'll say 2 hours 45 for sake of simplicity. Departing in about 25, 6, 7, about 20, we'll say 22 minutes. Flying an A320neo today with 153 people on board. Next, we don't have Wi-Fi, we don't have entertainment, we do have boarding music, which is still a separate Lauda sample. We have got a safety briefing as well, that'll be Lauda. We do have a snack service, we do not get a meal service. So passengers will be fed, but they do have to pay for all of that. So we'll start our flights, and our passengers should hopefully start boarding the aircraft now. Yeah, one of the, I guess the benefits of having downloaded, or flying with Lauda, I downloaded the sample off of Free Copyright Musics, or whatever they're called, NCS, so shows that Lauda are cheap, well, Ryanair, not going for the full pay stuff, but it'll be cool, it'll be cool. So we're now aligning the IRS, we'll program our flight plan, and then we'll contact ATC for our clearance. So let's head over to the... Actually, yeah, set the app as well. So go to fuel, and now, as of the recent updates, what is it? 1.8.3.0, the A320s had a few bugs here and there regarding the number 1 engine. So when you turn off the APU, the engine cuts out. There is a workaround, and one that's not too bad. So we need 19,256 pounds of fuel on board. What we're going to do is fill up the centre tank. So left and right will leave at 5%. The centre tank will increase. The fuel pumps will eventually balance this all out, so I'll go a little bit of extra fuel just in case. So 20, that'll do. So the fuel pumps will balance this out later, but if you fill up from the centre, it fixes the APU issue. So that works for me. Aircraft is fueled. Alright, so that's our... Fuel on board is draining? How so? That's interesting. That is not supposed to do that. There we go, stabilised at 9.3. Okay, thank you for that. So, zero fuel weight, 52.7. I've got 9.3. Ah, sorry, I've got fuel, sorry, centre of gravity is 19.2. And 9.3 goes into fuel on board. That's all fine. Flight plan. It's airways, and let's plug in our routing today. So, first waypoint shall be Ledva. From Ledva, we fly to Loz. So it's going to be Northern Hemisphere to the west. No, east. It's actually going to be that one. After that, we then fly to Rusney. After Rusney, we fly to Subor. Following Subor, we fly to Ascot. And then, well, inside that, we'll do it waypoint per waypoint basis. So Ascot, we fly to Ruvat. Followed by Sokva. And then it's Adseb. Inside that, flight plan completes. Now, as it stands, well, last time when I filed the flight plan, it was runway 34 in use. So what I'm going to do is contact ATC, we'll get our clearance sorted, and then we'll see if 34 is still in use, and therefore if we need to change that or not. But it's a runway 34, Ledva 4 Delta departure. Vienna Tower is active, Vienna approach is active, so it will be Tower speaking to 119.4.
To place your larger carry-on items in the overhead bins and smaller items underneath the seat in front of you. Unless you're in the front row, please place all of your items in the overhead bins. If you have any trouble finding a location for your...
Alright, so now speaking to, or connected to Vienna Tower. Let's make contact and see what we're doing. Good evening, Vienna Tower. This is Ryanair 9759 requesting IFR clearance to Lappeenranta.
Ryanair 9759, Wien Tower, hello, information Charlie cleared GeForce Lima Papa, weil die WAPGO 2 Charlie departure route runway 29, climb 5000 squawk 3616.
Okay, hang on. Initial 5000. Was it runway 29 he said? I actually missed the runway. If we confirm that. 29, yes, okay, so. Cleared to Lappeenranta via the back 2 Charlie departure using runway 29er. It's initial 5000, squawking 3616 for Ryanair 9759er.
9759er confirmed departure route WAPGO 2 Charlie Victor Alpha Bravo Golf Uniform.
Hang on, I'm getting so lost now. I don't fly from Vienna too often, so I go through the... It's runway 29 up. I don't know, I've missed that. 2 Charlie. Can you say the departure, Sid, once again, sorry, for Ryanair 9759 up?
Yeah, the departure is Babgu to Charlie. Victor Alpha Bravo Golf Uniform. That's the night departure for Latvia.
Via the Vabgu departure for Ryanair 9759. Vabgu 1 to Charlie.
9759, repeat correct.
There we go, got there in the end. Right. I don't know why it took me so long to get that one. They're quite good. So, Vabgu 2 Charlie. Insert that. 29 nut. Perfect. So, flight plans inputs. Passengers are boarding. That's all sorted. Let's only contact them during our push and starts. Yeah, now I don't have any A320neos, but given that we don't have an A320ceo in Microsoft Flight Sim, this is as good as I'm going to get, second to none, so I thought, why not? I mean, Lappeenranta is an airport I have been to in the real world. Oh gosh, very laggy going to the right window there. Seems normal now. Yeah, so Lappeenranta is an airport I've been to in real life, as was Vienna. And actually I spent about a month in Lappeenranta over during the Christmas New Year time, so I got a few memories of that place, very close to my heart. I thought, might as well fly there today and bring you guys along with me. So, passengers are boarding, we can track their progress now. Almost there actually, only a few more passengers left to find their seats. And so this is the recent updates for packs. This is part of the alpha, I guess, at the moment, where you have got the full passenger cabin interior, and as well the passengers' details being input for all of that as well. So it's a very nice this extra, and I've been very happy to test out for them as well. Right, so we'll turn on the fuel pumps. We'll turn on the seatbelt sign since we're now ready to, well, aircraft and fueled, so that comes on.
Gentlemen, and welcome aboard Flight 9759. Our flight time will be roughly 2 hours and 45 minutes.
That's all
Now
good.
that the cabin
Did we
door is
turn the
closed,
strobes
please
onto
make sure
automatic?
that
I
all
don't remember.
devices
No,
are
we did
in
not.
airplane
That's
mode and your large
set.
devices are now shut down and stowed. Please fasten your
Nav
seatbelt
lights
and make sure that all
active.
tray
That's all
tables
fine.
and seat backs are in a full upright and
That's
locked
all
position.
fine. So wait for the RS to align, which it has done now. Flight plan should assist the parts nice and good. They shouldn't have the waypoints go anywhere crazy, which they don't. That brings us in quite nicely. Perfect. So flight plan's happy with. We'll start up the APU. And so I'd say in about 5-ish minutes, we shall be in the air. While we're here, might as well have a quick look at where runway 29 is. What is it currently rated of our heading? So it's it's about there, runway 29 up. It's going to be that runway right there. Yeah, that's what happens when you're unfamiliar with an airport and have charts at hand. Let's just, let's use drone cam. Why not? So that's runway 6. Runway 29. Okay, so that's our runway departure. Perfect. It's not too far away. And so we are using the Gaia Simulations Vienna, available on Orbex, and, well, got a couple of flights out of it, and it does look really good, this. I'm very much a fan of the Gaia Simulations and their work. That's last time we flew out of here with Wizz Air. Right, so APU starting. Yes, it should be starting. Wait for the flap to open.
Maximal 2500 Fuß oder darunter. QNH.
Yes, I am using the fly-by-wire mods, the fly-by-wire A320. I noticed you, World Aviation Oliver, and unfortunately for spam, I'm going to have to time you out. IVAO, we're using IVAO. APU starting, that'll be on the second, flight director active, initial climb 5000, that's 2500 minutes, let's go to 3000, and speed 250 knots. That's the FMS, go to performance, And let's plug in our departure information. So set the meta info. And it's information Charlie right now. So, 124 right states. 1.
Schätzung, Kreise über die Erstattung.
68. And transition altitude is at 10,000 here in Vienna. QNH 1020. AP should now be active. Well, not yet, is it? Still stabilising. Yeah, not too long to go now. AP shall be active very shortly. With Lauda motion, you get. There's a trolley service, but you have to pay for your meals on this airline. AP active. Solar power off. Right. At this point, we're now pretty much ready for our push and start. So we'll turn on the beacon lights. Wait for a gap in the chat, and then we'll contact ATC regarding our push and starts.
Schätzung über Wien erlaubt. Danach wieder zurück auf die Route Golf Neuburg, Oscar Kilo Bravo Golf.
Right. Ryanair 9759 is ready for push and starts.
Ryanair 9759 start and push approved, QNH 1020 facing south.
Push and start approved, QNH 1020 facing south for Ryanair 9759. Right. So, for the push and tag over, we've set the QNH already.
Über die Piste 11 in Wien.
The music will shut off in a second.
Bravo Golf Center.
So now if the pushback tag to put a little force in the aircraft.
Oscar Bravo Golf Tiefüberflug über Piste 11 genehmigt.
Tiefer Überflug über die Piste 11 genehmigt, werde Ihnen den Flug melden. Oscar Bravo Golf.
Direct released. Engine ignition starts. Engine 1 starts. In a second, we'll request the aircraft to push to the. Well, nose goes left, push to the right. So tune ground, push to
Ladies
the
and gentlemen,
right.
please direct your attention to the screens for an important safety demonstration. Thank you for flying with us.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will now inform you about our safety instructions. The use of headphones is not permitted during this time.
Engine 1 slow starting up, looking good.
Whenever the fasten seatbelt sign illuminates, fasten your seatbelt and pull it tight. To open the seatbelt, lift the buckle. We recommend keeping the seatbelt fastened during the entire flight.
Okay, a little bit off the centre line there for taxiway, but hey, no one's complaining. And
In case
stop.
of decompression, oxygen mask will be released automatically from the panel above your seat. Pull one mask towards you, place it over the mouth and nose.
If your spares aren't working, turn up the brightness. There's PTU. Engine 2 starts.
This Airbus is equipped with 8 clearly marked emergency exits. 2 exits in the front of the cabin, 4
down
windows over the
1.
wings, and 2 exits in the rear part of the cabin. Illuminated floor lights lead to these exits. The live vest is located under your seat. When instructed by the crew, put the live vest on. Pull the strap around your waist, fasten it and pull it tight. When leaving the aircraft, pull down the red tab to inflate the live vest. With the 2 red tubes, air pressure can be regulated. The signal lamp illuminates automatically on contact with water.
Engine 2 now slow starting up.
Please
That's
take a look at the
set.
safety instruction card with further important information. Smoking is prohibited during the entire stay on board. All lavatories are equipped with smoke detectors. For takeoff, fold out the tray table, adjust the backrest of your seat in an upright position. and opening window shades.
And both engines are stable, so ignition off, APU off, and let us now request our taxi instructions. So we'll go to the external view just so we don't hear the rest of the safe demo getting in the way of that. Ryanair 9759 ready to taxi. Oh, have they disconnected? No, sorry. I've disconnected, I had to go for the pushback, didn't I? Sorry. Ryanair 9759, ready to taxi.
9759 standby.
Right, Todd, stand by, give it a few seconds, and then we'll be cleared to get going. Packs. We're using TFDI design packs.
9759 takes holding point runway 29 via Mike intersection of choice.
Taxi to runway 29 via Mike, intersection of choice for Ryanair 9759er. So, taxi lights active. Parking brake released. Increased throttle. Let's get going. So, this is always the easy bits. Taxi and takeoff, you can't go wrong. Well, you can go wrong, but if you do, then you've gone and quite catastrophically failed that. IVAO, we're using iVal for my ATC today. Yep, flying to Finland today. Flying to Lappeenranta. Yep, Lauda Motion, who was owned by the former racing driver Niki Lauda. And, well, now wholly owned by Ryanair. So they're currently in the process of soaking in the rest of the assets. In the next couple of years, they're going to sell all the A320s, replace them with 737s. They've already rebranded it as Ryanair Vienna, and so really the A320s don't have much longer left to go. But as it stands, these A320s are now wholly owned by Ryanair and are used on the Ryanair flights. And we know Leary always wanted an all Airbus fleet, but Boeing always gave the better prices, so as a result, they, I guess, defected to an all 737 fleets. Which makes sense, for a low-cost airline, the cheaper prices you get on an aircraft with cheaper maintenance parts and all that, it's what keeps the prices low. So the A320 livery was created by a guy named Olivier Alberto. And so his Discord is, hang on, where has he gone? Yeah, Olivier Alberto 6223, or Airport2 on Twitter. At some point I'll leave it, well, I'll wait for him to upload it, and then I'll leave a link to his official livery later. So, like I say, a massive thanks to that guy who managed to get the livery sorted out for me relatively quickly, because I've always wanted to do a Lauda flight in Microsoft Flight Sim, and so he, having delivery, made that a kind of a reality. No, Ryanair don't own Airbus. Not quite sure where you got that from. Ryanair own Lauda. Oh, sorry, Ryanair own Airbus. Yes, so Ryanair own about 20 A320s, and they're the former Lauda aeroplanes. There's our fuel. Not looking too bad. We shut off the APU long ago. The APU's long gone. The fuel is still in the center tank, but slowly it's starting to fill in left and right. So, as long as we're airborne with some fuel left in the center, we should be alright. We will go all the way to the end. Set the spoilers to armed. Set the brakes to maximum. I might have to reset that again just in case we do need to set the brakes again. Yeah, quite possibly if we need to hold short the runway. Right. And halt. Ryanair 9759 is holding short runway 29.
And a 759 wind 100 degrees 4 knots, 29 clear for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff, Ryanair 9759. Cabin crew, please be seated for departure. Not a drink service, just a generic.
Okay.
So, cabin crew go to sit down in their seats. We have takeoff clearance, passengers are prepped. Let's get going. Yes, so that was PAX, TFDI design PAX for the cabin crew and passengers. Right, enter the runway. Throttle up 50%. 1 and 2 are stable. Up to flex. Knots. V1 rotates. Positive rates, gear up. Pitch about 15 degrees. Very nice. Make a left-hand turn now, fly initial heading. And so, runway 29 and this departure base takes us around the main city of Vienna, takes us via all the fields, and therefore just don't disturb anybody in the ground. Quite a nice little departure this. Adds a little bit to our flight plan, but nothing too crazy. Throttle back climb. Thank you, Aviator Snappy.
Ryanair 9759 confirms squawk mode Charlie.
Whoopsie. There we go. Sorry about that, Quarking Charlie, Ryanair 9759. Forgot to set the
9759 contact Vienna 134.675, bye bye.
134.675 for Ryanair 9759, thank you very much. So initial climb 5,000, turn on autopilot now. That's all good, that's all good, flaps up. So, 134.675. Whoops, that's going to be overspeed alarm. We're not going to overspeed, so that'll clear out. Good evening, Ryanair 9759, climbing to 5,000.
Ryanair 9759 of East Radar, good evening, squawk 4470.
Squawk 4470 for Ryanair 9759.
Ryanair 9759, thanks very much, identified climb flight level 240.
Climb flight level 240 for Ryanair 9759. So 24,000 now been cleared to 2. slowly we'll now leave the city of Vienna behind us. We're going to go around the main city, so right hand side coming up shortly. It's 2 hours and 45 minutes to Lappeenranta, so we've got plenty of time for cruise today. And it should just be a rather simple flight tonight, so I'm not expecting too much in the way of adverse weather. It's about as easy as it's going to get today. And the approach to Lappeenranta as well should be quite nice. So we're coming in, well, as it stands, it's runway 24 in use. So normally you come into land 09, which is the ILS, but very rarely, if the winds call for it, 24 will be in use. And as it stands, 24 is the active runway. So we'll keep an eye on that one. It's a VNAV approach. Should be quite an interesting one. What if you have landings? I don't have too many problems with landings. I know a couple of people have had a few issues with them, but I don't know. Perhaps I'm just one of the lucky few that has made it around that.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have now passed 10,000 feet, so you may turn on larger portable electronic
Landing
devices.
lights
This
off.
is also a reminder to please keep your seatbelt fastened throughout the duration of the flight and do not form a line near the lavatories.
Hotess, I'm using the Thrustmaster Hotess Warthog. So we're going to do complete this turn we're currently doing right now. And as soon as the flight plan starts to straighten up, which it pretty much does on the outsource of that SID, we'll turn off seatbelt sign and our passengers start roaming the cabin. As it stands, they're all very satisfied at the moment. Cabin looking nice and full. Got a few gaps in the seats here and there, but not too many today. So, yeah, should be quite a nice flight. As we go through our cruise as well, we'll have a chance to kind of look at the cabin a little bit more, see what else people are doing. But hey, I've now pretty much done my job. We'll continue climbing. We'll initially be given the full clearance to flight level 350, which are cruising. And so, yeah, that's just the, like I say, the most part of my job's done. Welcome Emir from Australia, how you doing? Welcome to the channel, welcome to the chats. The passenger option is PAX, TFDI designed PAX. It's a third-party add-on, costs $30, and I'd say worth every penny. Is there an updated A320neo X? I'm not sure if you can send it in chat, if Nightbot will block you for that hibernator. But you can always take it in the Discord channel. Discord's usually quite light when it comes to URL moderation. Yeah, safety announcements do get included with PAX. So, asking 18,000 now. Well, we should have set the altimeter a long time ago, but, well, you remember sometimes, you forget sometimes. We're almost finally done this initial heading, so we'll soon... There you go. We'll soon hit that. As soon as we level off, we'll turn off seatbelt sign and give passengers a bit more freedom. I'm brave to do 4 flights in live. I mean, I do this all the time, and I've never had a failure. Well, I've had a few failures, but those streams quickly get deleted, but I've usually got a pretty good record of being able to do these 4 flights on stream. Welcome there, Jack, how you doing? Welcome to the chats. Right, it's perfect. So what I'm going to do is now turn off seatbelt sign. And we'll tell PAX we've done the same. So interaction, seatbelts off, passengers are free to roam the cabin.
The flight crew has turned off the fasten seatbelt sign. You can now get up and move about the cabin. However, we ask that you keep your seatbelt fastened when seated in case of unexpected turbulence.
We're soon to hit 24,000 feet. So expecting a couple of moments to call out,
hello, Turkish 1
call out from ATC to give us the next step of our climb.
Ryanair 90759, no further ATC, monitor Unicom 122.8, bye-bye.
So that we may get Unicom as well. It's nice to get ATC, but it's not always full coverage. So that to our right now is the city of Vienna.
Kilo X-ray, Vienna Schwechat, good evening, identified ATIS Mike is correct. Expect ILS from a 29er.
ILS 29er, Turkish 1 X-ray.
Turkish 1 Kilo X-ray at this time, proceed direct to Whiskey 9056, descent flight level 140.
Direct to Whiskey 9056, descending 140, Turkish 1 X-ray.
There we go, so that 240 now. We'll be here for a couple of moments. The Lauda motion livery was provided to me by Oliviera Alberto. There we go. I just love Microsoft Flights and just how it all looks. It's a very sound platform. It looks great, feels alright, it does its job. Oh yeah, set speed. Cheers for that. I'm gonna forget this stuff. Right, Mach 0.7. How long's flight? 2 hours 45. Do you mind trying some sound mods for the Neo? I did install sound mods at one point, but it seemed to cause a few lagging issues because of the way it compressed all the sound. Well, I didn't really compress them, it just stuck them in the sim, so I'll need to look into that a bit more detailed. Yeah, so Lappeenranta is in Finland, southeast Finland, not too far from the Russian border. And probably as close to a second home as I'm going to get, so you never know. Welcome Rin, how you doing? Welcome to the channel, welcome to the chats. So we're now at Mach 0.7, we could probably push up to Mach 0.8 now.
Ryanair 90759 of Vienna Schwechat.
Ryanair 9759, go ahead.
Ryanair 9759, I tried to reach you earlier. No further ATC, monitor Unicom 122.8 boy.
122.8 for Ryanair 9759, thank you very much, have a good evening. Alright, so we're now on Unicom. 1228. I'm sure I was talking to the Turkish Airlines earlier, but I missed that one. Okay. So 1228. Set that. Climb to 350 at a rate of 2,000 feet per minute, well 1,800 feet per minute. Perfect. Not too bad, Daniel. How are you doing? My phone charges in the bag. Is it set for December, the release of the Concorde? Okay, I'll keep an eye on that one, thanks. Yeah, the thumbnail's a little bit off right now because I only got the Lauda delivery about 10 minutes before I started streaming, so that was just a generic image off of Google. It's nice how it updates the thumbnail, the correct A320. What does TIP stand for? I guess not related to hint. In regards to what, NT Matt, I'm afraid? You can tell me what you mean by tips. I didn't know there was a new Airbus out there yet, but if there is, I'll do a download of that tonight. The pop-ups labelled tips. Oh, right. That it literally just means tip, a tooltip. It's like a hint of what you're doing. So yes, that's just the way message displayed in the sim. So I'm using IVA from ATC, and so all these messages you see here are the ATC messages, and therefore the tips you see right now. It's just a label that sits there. It's nothing particularly stand out as to why it means anything. It literally just means it's a tip, a tooltip. So there you go. That their message is just from ATC right now. Why does he going to turn off the engine 1? You sure? Engine 1 looks alright to me, so I hope it doesn't shut off. Ooh, sorry, ground spoiler's still armed. Let me just really sit that back down again. Ah, you got the fire test and all that working. Very nice. Yeah, I'll get that downloaded tonight. No, it's just that, Raphael. Glad you're enjoying the watch. Yeah, so at the moment, there's a limit of Mach 1.0 in Microsoft Flight Sim. No aircraft can go faster than that. And so, until Sobo will actually allow aircraft to fly faster, the Concorde's going to be limited at a rather slow speed and just kind of kills the fun in that. So hopefully soon they'll update the Concorde's speed. The information is from FlyLive Studio, which is this tool here. And so it's a tool that streamers use to kind of display your on-screen information. So it's a very nice way of doing things, very neat, very easy to understand. And so you just plug in your destination, sorry, plug in your departure, plug in your destination, plug in your call sign, and you're done. And of course you have to create the overlay as well, but that's a rather quick task. Do you keep the APU on? Nope, my APU is turned off. So like I said, the easiest way of doing it is just to fill up the centre fuel tank. So not the left, not the right. Switch on the anti-ice just in case we get some icing on this cloud. Yeah, just turn on the... Well, fill up the centre fuel tank, leave the left and right empty, and that solves the engine startup issue. Or the engine shutdown issue, even. There's a freeware F-18 out there, and I believe there's a couple of other fighters on the way. I think there's an F-35 actually that's been announced, so there are a couple of them arriving, but not major at the moment, I'd say. Well, there are a couple. So, when fueling the aircraft, fill the centre tanks. If you go back to when I was fueling the aircraft on the ground, I had my left and right fuel tanks on 5%, and my centre fuel tank at like 60% to fuel up the aircraft. And so, if you fill up the centre tank, as long as you've done that, and you have fuel in that when you're turning off the APU, the fuel pumps will automatically balance out the fuel. In fact, for some reason the left tank is drawing more fuel than the right. Yeah, as long as you've got your centre tank full and this is all sorted, then yeah, you can shut down the APU, left engine does not cut off, and it all works an absolute charm. I wouldn't say Oslo Airport's model is broken, it's more the fact that outdated satellite imagery in the AI model matching just, yeah, outdated satellite imagery model, the AI model picking's not quite there, and so it's not perfect, but it's basically like Oslo back in 2010, before they expanded. We've got 787 coming into lands now. Presumably they're going to be using a Microsoft Flight Simulator. A little bit of minor turbulence, but nothing too bad yet. Interesting. Lauda means funny words in other languages. Ah, nice, okay, so yeah, I'll 100% download the new A320neo X. Sounds like I'm saying Lauda, because that is literally the company's name. It's Lauda Motion, or rebranded as Lauda, although it's since rebranded as Ryanair. It's definitely Lauda, not Lauda. Lauda would be the British English way of saying it, but being an Austrian company based on the guy Niki Lauda, the other one is known as Lauda. Whoopsie. It's a bit of like a wind speed change something. Should be at Mach 0.78. I'm not sure I'm going a little bit faster than that. Slow the airplane down slightly. There we go.
In a few moments, we'll be starting our
How far from the arrival airport?
We'll be serving complimentary
About
Please look in your seat back for a
1 hour and
complimentary
40 minutes away. 1 hour and 40.
are available for a small charge. Please note that we only accept credit cards.
Glad you joined the watch, Raphael. I'm glad you find the videos and tutorials good. I mean, I'm glad people have found the tutorials actually especially helpful, because a lot of times when I'm recording them, it's a case of, ooh, am I making sense? Does this all look and sound good? But, no, whenever people tell me that what I'm doing is helpful and understandable, it is always encouraging, so yes, thank you everyone who has said that these are being helpful to you. One of the new planes, there's no real exact dates for new planes, it really comes down to when developers release them. So there's a couple of them already out. In fact, I do plan to pick up the the Mooney M20 from... It's not Carinado, it's the one that's linked to Carinado. What are they called? Is it Carinado? I'm sure it's another company. The Abellio, that's it. Ah, very nice galleons. I need to fetch money by packs. Just spent mostly money on the 3080. I mean, if you've got the money for packs, like I say, it's well worth it. So, snacks and drinks now being served. And the cabin looking nice and calm at the moment. Got a few passengers. Well, seatbelt on. There you go. A few passengers seatbelt off right now. For example, Glenn Curtis in row 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So be in 9C. Got Christian Edwards in 3D, seatbelt off, not thirsty, not hungry, so far so good, trying for business. We've got Suzanne Pierce, who is currently seatbelt seated on, window seat right now for them. So I say, you got the full cabin map, which does look rather good. I do like this. You got your cabin crew at the back of the aeroplane. So, as time goes on, PAX will continue to update the, TFT design will continue to update PAX with the cabin map and all that. Eventually, it will bring in a lot more around that. Career mode, PAX comes with a career mode. I haven't used it, but you can create a new career mode and do all of that as well. So, if you're on a career mode, PAX does that for you as well. Maybe one day I'll do one. Maybe one day. Yes, helis will come eventually to Microsoft Flight Simulator. Interesting. I'll look into the Mooney, see if it's worth picking up, because the Mooney M20 is by far my favourite, and so with one being now available for Microsoft Flight Sim, one is that I'm almost totally going to pick up, but if it's not great at the moment, then, well, if I should hold off, I might hold off then, we'll see. I don't think you need to be 16 for PAX. IVAO, I believe you do need to be, because it's an online network. So like any social media, you need to have parental permission if you're under 16. But PAX is just a common third-party add-on. What do you mean, Lappeenranta is boring, but I love that place. I spent a month there in Finland last year. Or spent time in Taipalsaari. And, yeah, I love that place. Lappeenranta is awesome. I've got a couple of friends out there, very nice people. No worries, Raphael, you take care. Yeah, I spent about a month in Lappeenranta, so I spent a lot of time in Taipalsaari. I spent a day in I can't remember, it's Kuavola. Yes, it's definitely Kuavola, is it? I'm trying to remember, it's the one to the east. It's not Kuopio. Kuopio's up north, not been there yet. Imatra, sorry. So I said Lappeenranta, Taipalsaari. Imatra, I spent a day in. Yeah, that's Kuavola. I spent a bit of time in Helsinki and Vantaa. Stayed in Gorilla for that one. And hopefully next year I'll be travelling to Tampere. Tampere, Kuopio, might even stop at either Silka, we'll see. But no, I do love that place. Finland is a very beautiful country. People there, very, very nice indeed. Visit Turku sometime. Potentially. Potentially on my list of places to go to, but well, my friends from Lappeenranta moved to Tampere recently, so I'll go visit her in Tampere soon. Well, once everything returns to normal, that's for sure. There are, well, planes that are not in the game, so they're going to be third-party add-ons, which is sort of just like any other add-on, or they're available on the marketplace, and so you can buy them from the built-in store. Nope, not using the dev version of the A320neo. I'm going to download that tonight when I finish this flight. Everyone from the Scandinavian countries is just jealous of the Finns. Like I say, it's a very beautiful country, and the people there are just really good and rather cheap as well. I mean, I've been to all of the Scandinavian countries. I've been to most of the Nordic. The only Nordic country I've not been to is Iceland. The rest of them I've been to. Finland is by far the cheapest. By far the cheapest. Definitely the nicest. Second prettiest. Norway, much prettier. I'm sorry. I mean, there's so much you can enjoy fields, forests and snow, but there's only so many fields, forests and snows you can enjoy. I mean, with Norway you get the fjords and all that. It's beautiful. I mean, the highest point in Finland is on the border with Norway. There's a mountain that they have on their side. It's actually quite funny. Have I been to Tromsø? No. I've not been to Tromsø, but I want to go there at some point. Norwegian Airlines, presumably they go bankrupt, do have a direct flights there from London, and so it is on my bucket list of places to go to. Might increase our cruising altitude actually. We're going to go up to 370, just see if we can get out of this cloud slightly. Yeah, out of this cloud just makes life a little bit easier for us. Yes, I'll definitely be picking up the CRJ when it's out. It's an aircraft I've got a lot of interest in flying. I'm from London. I'm from the UK. Fancy Tromsø is good. Cheers for that, my man. I mean, when you travel around a lot, you get like an idea of how places are named. So Tromsø. So I need to kind of get the accent right, but Tromsø. I mean, Lappeenranta is one of those places that I can get right half the time I get it wrong. Lappeenranta, because it's kind of, it's the double P, the double E. Yeah, the double P and the double E. You need to drag them out. So it's one of those things that the more you practice, the more you get used to it. Welcome, Marshall. Welcome to South Africa. How you doing? Not at all, Styler. I mean, the maximum cruising altitude of the A320neo is 39,000. So if I really wanted to, I'd go another 2,000 feet higher if I wanted, but at least at this point, we're now skimming slightly above the clouds rather than flying through them. So at least for the aircraft, it's a bit easier. And potentially, well, I won't go 39 because of the weight's limitation of the aircraft, but hopefully things clear up ahead of us. We can then turn off the de-icing. Not doing too bad, Benny. Sorry, Benny. I'm not sure what you're saying there. My chat thing makes that B look like an S. But not doing too bad, Benny. How you doing? Welcome to the chats. I'm not sure if I'll use FS2 crew pushback. I mean, I'm going to wait for GSX to come out. That's on my list of add-ons to pick up. FS2 crew is one of the things where if I had it, I'll give it a go, but as I don't own it, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's one of the things that I'll pick up, but GSX is the main one I'm waiting for right now. Glad to hear it, Benny. Glad to hear you're doing good. As right now, so using the A320neo projects, we're using IVAL for ATC, we have PAX for passengers and crew, we're using, what's it called, Fly Live Studio for the overheads, well, the on-screen information top of the screen there, and that's about it really. The A320 is swaying on autopilot, but that's because it does that in real life. There you go. Here's a forum post from back in 2015, where basically some guy was complaining about the A320 swaying left and right during cruise. It's something the real aeroplane does, and is accurate to what it looks like. Because you're in the passenger cabin, you never really see the left and right swaying. But it's a genuine thing that Airbus aircraft do. We're at the clouds now, so anti-icing comes off. Just hopefully high enough above these clouds and won't start icing the airplane over like crazy. So we've still got a fair bit of this flight left to go. We're slowly coming up to maybe a fifth of the way there. I don't have Navigraph, so I'm afraid it's not sure I can give you. If I own it, or if I ever pick it up, then yes, I will do, but truth be told, it's not something I own. How many frames? Getting a solid 30 FPS. So I'm using FPS limiter through NVIDIA control panel, and I limit my sim to 30 FPS, I limit OBS to 30 FPS, and therefore it runs all smooth. If I didn't have the limiter, either the sim would start lagging or OBS would start lagging. As a result, it just leaves a very bad experience. So if I limit everything, it all works quite nice. Took a lot of trial and error to get right, let me tell you. Took a lot of practice runs, a lot of practice videos, but now that it's all working, it all works a charm. Can you fly to Vasa in Finland sometime? Well, you could do. That's more towards north, isn't it? Do you know the language in English? So, I speak English natively. Moje mama jestem Polską, and mówię Polsku. If I spent a day learning French, then I could speak basic French. Bonjour, ça va? Comment t'appelles-tu? I can ask any above this. Quelle date aujourd'hui bon anniversaire? So I could do French if I practiced it a little bit more. And I speak the most basic Finnish ever. Huomenta, puhun suomea. And we're not in Finland now, so hyvää yötä. It's actually not one I can have. It's not one I can get right because it's the YJO. Hyvää yötä. I can't get that word right. It's like the name Uriah. I can't do it right. Yeah, en puhu suomea. I can't understand the language, and I can only say the most basic of things. I'd like to learn Finnish, absolutely. But yeah, you are right, it's a very difficult language to learn, especially if you... Well, it's got no... The closest you can get is Hungarian, but even then it's a very different language, Finnish. It's like Ulrich background. You know external views, but there's not too much to see apart from clouds and sun. Gonna do a little bit of cheating right now because we're not doing live time right now. I'm actually gonna bring it back about 45 minutes, the clock, just so that when we're in Finland we get to enjoy more of the blood red sunsets. Welsh. Nope, I speak no Welsh. Just like I say, English I can speak natively, Polish I can speak at conversational level, Finnish, French, if I practiced it enough I could start speaking conversational again. Finnish, elementary level. There'll be a couple of Finns in this stream. Whenever I do a stream in and out of Finland, I seem to get a lot of these Finns in these chats. Back when I did the flights from Helsinki, Malmö to Mariehamn, I had a... Well, that video got so big it actually made it onto the Finnish news about the first Microsoft Flight Sim footage from Finland, and during that I very badly sing the Finnish anthem, so yeah, if you want to hear me attempt the Finnish anthem, it is on there. I donate €100 and I'll sing it now. Yeah, it is out there. It's an interesting attempt. What about Swedish? No, not a word of Swedish. Okay, flygplats. Airports. There you go. Yes, hyvää yötä. Everyone from Finland. Landing rates I'm using as part of FlyLife Studio. Siema, hyvää iltoja. I'm trying to use whatever Finnish I know in my head to kind of figure out what's being said. Do you leave the APU on? Nope. APU is currently shut off and inactive. Yes, this is Lauda Motion. This is the Niki Lauda, well, the former Niki Lauda airline, now owned by Ryanair, and in about 6 months will no longer exist. I mean, it's now officially Ryanair Vienna, and so... all gone. Nope, no Dutch I'm afraid. Nor German, nor Spanish. No, if you don't use OBS, you can't see the landing rate, I'm afraid. On the account it says TCAS standby, so if you head over to the panel on the right here, so by default, TCAS is set to, well, TCAS and Squawk is set to standby. One switches to the right to automatic, and that lets it run normal. Right now we're flying over the Czech Republic. I should try learning Norwegian, very fun, easy for English speakers. Potentially one day. And the benefit of learning so many languages is that, for the future, it gives you a lot more opportunity. had your own squawk code. So if you head over to the same panel, so right now we're squawking 4470. If I clear that and say like 5236, you can do that. So this is how you enter a squawk code, 4470. And that's where the squawk panel is. You live in Finland and you don't know... Hang on. You live in Finland and you don't know that there's an airport in Lappeenranta. I mean, it's the oldest airport in all of Finland. It's the oldest active military air base. At least it was the original military air base. And it opened in 1914. It's got one of Finland's widest runways. Not longest, but certainly widest. It's not a hub for Ryanair, not a base, but Ryanair do operate a lot of flights out of it. Back in 2009, there's a bit of history of Lappeenranta Airport and Finavia, the airport authority. So, Lappeenranta as an airport had very few flights and very few connections, but in 2009, Ryanair wanted to open a base at that airport. Now, part of that agreement was to see them build a brand new terminal, separate from the main terminal, but a dedicated Ryanair low-cost terminal. Therefore, they pay less tax, it's cheaper for them to operate out of, and just a few other benefits for Ryanair itself. Finavia said no. So, what happened is Ryanair cancelled their plans. In 2009, Ryanair cancelled their plans, pulled all their flights out, including what used to be direct London to Lappeenranta flights. And then, in 2014, I mean 4 years later, there's 0 flights, 0 commercial activity, it's just losing them a lot of money, so... Finavia sold the airport. They're going to sell it to contractors to just build houses on it, but the city of Lappeenranta bought the airport and now operate it locally. As a result... Where's my story now? So now Lappeenranta Airport is owned by the city, and when that happened, Ryanair started doing their flights back out of Lappeenranta again. So they now use the main terminal there because they get their cheap discounted deals. And so while they no longer have any plans to open a base in the airports, they now have quite a fair few flights. They fly to Milan out of Lappeenranta, you fly to Thessaloniki, you can fly to Vienna, you can fly to a few other places as well. And so back when I went to Finland in December, I actually flew there to Lappeenranta via Milan. So I flew a British Airways flight from Gatwick to Milan, Linate, spent a few hours there, and then flew up to Finland from there. Squawk is an identification number that AT uses to track aircraft on their radar. So yeah, it is now used as a training base, for ATC, and also Finnair uses it to train pilots as well, touch and goes, and back to Helsinki, it's quite close. Landing in British time, it will be around 11 PM at the moment. 11 PM, although it might be a little bit later than that, but certainly before midnight. I'm from London. I'm from London. No confirmation yet for Xbox release dates. but all we know is that it'll be later this year or early next year. But it will eventually come out on Xbox. Just really a case of when it comes out. Welcome Philbert, how you doing? Long time watcher, first time chatter. Nice one man, how you doing? Welcome to the chats. On the map, I found it's got it turned on right now. Normally I turn it off, but during my VFR flight I actually left it on. So we're now leaving Czech Republic and soon to enter Poland. So start in Austria, fly over Czech Republic, fly over Poland. We then cross Latvia and Estonia before making our approach into southeast Finland. So like I say, right now we are expecting to land on runway 24, which takes over the city, but depending on the winds, it will more likely be a 09 approach. We'll see about Cairo. Maybe one day. Which mod, MD? Which mod? I mean, spamming the question over and over again, MD, just gets you muted or often answered, but you're not saying which mod in particular you're looking for. Good, thanks for questions. Yeah, go for it, Philbert. Any questions, feel free to ask. So the passenger mod is PAX, TFDI design PAX. So, oh, that's interesting. Give me a second. I need to report that as a glitch. So yeah, PAX, it's the Passenger and Crew Experience add-on, and so it simulates the passengers and cabin crew inside your aircrafts. As well as gives like a floor map of the airplane, passenger information profile at the top there to see what's going to their gender, age, reason to travel, their happiness, hunger, thirst, sleepiness, and whether they're seated or not. And so it's just, yeah, randomised passengers, all available you can fly with. You got cabin crew can interact with passengers, so let's speak some, shall we? Ladies and gentlemen, an update from the flight deck. We are about a third of the way now to our trip to Lappeenranta and should be landing just around 1 AM local time. Any questions, please, cabin crew? Otherwise, hope you enjoy the rest of your flights. So, public address, just a general message. Ladies and gentlemen, an update from the flight deck. We are about a third of the way now to our trip to Lappeenranta and should be landing just around 1 AM local time. Any questions, please, cabin crew? Otherwise, hope you enjoy the rest of your flights. So yeah, it gives you a chance to like speak to your passengers, interact with everyone. It's just a very nice little add-on, little extra functionality for your flights. I like it. Just adds a level of realism, a bit more depth. So the mod or the liveries come as part of the liveries mega pack. This is the alpha version of packs. There's 3 versions. You've got your standard version, your beta, and your alpha. The passenger maps and all that comes with the alpha version. Alpha 4, I believe, is the latest one. Gin and tonic. I mean, I'd have a ouzo right now if I was able to, but because of work tomorrow, I'm not allowed to drink alcohol, so maybe later. What monitor I have is just some Samsung curved monitor 1080p thing, nothing particularly special. Largest airplane in the game, the 747-8. By far the, well, you have the AI A380, but you can't fly those. So the biggest aircraft in the game is the A380. The biggest one you can fly, the 747-8. I mean, I'm using NVIDIA control panel to limit my FPS to 30. I'm also using OBS at 30 as well, so I've limited everything to 30, and for me it just runs smooth. Overclock your graphics card if you can, but it's not too difficult. Not in this sim, that's for sure. Microsoft Flight Simulator does run really smooth if you know what you're doing, basically. A lot of practice, a lot of trial and error, but eventually you'll get there. Is anyone still watching this? Have you all disappeared? Chat's gone completely dead. know, perhaps the stream's completely died and I don't know about it. Let me check. So realistic. I mean, that's one of the things I like about Microsoft Flight Sim. It may not be the nicest to fly. X-Plane's flight dynamics are definitely better, but visually, this sim is a whole nother level. Nothing compares. We're waiting quite for the engine to blow up. Not today. Not today. I've already had one engine failure this weekend, and so I try not to have a second one. Welcome VJ, how you doing? Welcome to the chats. Do a barrel roll? Not today. My passengers will not be appreciating that. Watching streamers as the 24 hour Le Mans. Is Le Mans still running? Oh, that's very nice. You only tested JCC update, so you're curious. It has affected the engine, but there are workarounds, so it's possible to... Well, if you download the fly-by-wire A320neo add-on, the latest update on that fixes the engine issues. But if you use the default aeroplane for whatever reason, and one, you're crazy, and two, fuel up from the centre fuel tank, and then it works fine. But yes, that's the way to fix it. Fill your centre tank, or run the 2NX projects, and that fixes the APU left engine bug. Ouch. Landing gear should be one of the first things you check. Certainly is for me. V1 rotates, positive climb gear up. I guess the more you practice, the more it kind of just gets lodged into the back of your mind. The more it kind of just makes sense for you to work with in the future. Do you think you could pilot the 3-1 in real life? I mean, it's not a difficult airplane to pilot in real life, but I don't know. There's a lot of difference between a flight sim and the real thing. That's for sure. Would you consider getting the honeycomb out from Bravo? Again, one of the things that, well, my desk doesn't have too much space, and therefore fitting a yoke wouldn't do me too much great. I mean, I'm quite happy with the Thrustmaster HOTAS Warthog. I mean, if I had it, I'd use it. But it's not something I'd go proactively buy. I can recommend it. I've used it before. It's a great bit of kit. But it's not something I'd proactively go and buy unless I desperately need an upgrade. Yes, PAX does detect your flight behaviour, and so passenger satisfaction will diminish if you start flying erratically. So we're not too far from the midpoints now, not too far for halfway. So a very pretty sunset today. Nothing to our right, a few clouds to our left. I do actually need to update the thumbnail of this video, so let's go and grab a nice fancy screenshot, shall we? Yeah, I think that'll do quite nice, so grab the snipping tool. It's one thing I like about packs, they proactively debug their aircraft. So I'm currently in contact with the developer regarding the slight cabin glitch there. At the very least we can get that sorted out. Let's grab that screenshot and I'll change it from now later. So right now, we're well into our trip over. We're actually not too far from we're about to leave Poland now. Very soon be entering Latvia. Going to restart the voice server. If you can't use the voice server, please change to another. Thanks in advance. Okay, we are currently on... that might be TeamSpeak actually. Yeah, that's TeamSpeak, so we should be alright. Worst case scenario, just reconnect. Yeah, Kaliningrad's the Russian exclave. Potentially, actually. I've actually left Poland already. Yeah, so two fixes. Install the A320neo or fill the centre fuel tank. So, we're not looking too bad actually right now. We're halfway through the flight. In fact, exactly right now we are 52% of the way there, so just over halfway. We've cleared Poland rather quickly. And so, actually, I thought they were doing alright for progress so far. We're doing better than I thought it would be. Is there a hotkey for flex and climb? No, not really. You do it based on the number of clicks. So, let's give this a go, shall we? So, we'll idle throttles. That's on 0. So, you look at this notch here, where the arrows are. So, if I push up throttle, 1 click is for climb, 2 click for flex, 3 clicks for toga. So, it's based on the number of clicks you get on the throttle, that affects stats. PAX. TFDI Design PAX is the passenger satisfaction add-on. My ground speed is 470 knots. 472, 473. We're on a Ryanair call sign because Lauda Motion is owned by Ryanair, and as of last month, all Lauda flights and call signs have now been transferred to Ryanair. So Lauda Motion no longer exists. Ryanair own everything. So right now we're actually flying over, well, not too far from Gdynia and Gdańsk in... Actually no, I'm not sure. I think we're long past that, 'cause I'm looking at the scenery right now. That's definitely the Baltic Sea. Actually I think Gdynia Gdańsk is a bit more west of here actually. So I'll take that back. Yeah, so Lauda became Ryanair. And so, now, we are using Ryanair call sign, Ryanair flight numbers. The aviation industry will definitely pick up within next year or so, but it'll take a couple of years for it to be back to pre-COVID levels. It will pick up, but not yet to maximum capacity. Yeah, so we're over Kaliningrad right now. Yeah, I've heard of the browser map, but it's not a tool I'm massively going to use. Yeah, it's gonna be. It will take a couple of years, especially for pilot jobs to return to normal, because a lot of pilots have been made redundant right now, and so, I mean, what's the point for an airline to open a cadetship to pay 100 grand to train a pilot, when already there are young pilots now looking for jobs, already with the type ratings that they earned before losing their jobs, and are willing to basically take a very cheap contract to get back into work. If you're looking to get a job in aviation next couple of years, it will be tough, especially if you're starting out. We've already answered your question like 3 times, Crazy. We've already answered that question 3 times. Sounds like a good time for discount. Except there won't be any discount on flight training because the companies who are training the people now no longer have any people trained to fly, so they're running low on cash right now, and therefore they need the high expenses to train these people. There are less pilots training, but that doesn't make airplane costs any cheaper. So you can disable the bottom bar by going to, well, right click on the PAX menu in taskbar and toggle HUD, and then that's how you disable it. I will bring it back at some point, but temporarily disabling it's a little bit jumpy in the alpha version. But yeah, you can use the toggle HUD option to toggle the HUD. I have thought about doing an FAQ in the description. In fact, I've already got one for my sim spec and all that, but nobody reads it, so no real points. I will almost certainly become a private pilot at some point, so I'll do an NPPL Type M or something. But, not commercial. I've got no intentions to go commercial. I'll have a look outside the window while we're here. It does look good. It does look really good. And so the sun is slowly setting now on the horizon. Should get a rather nice... Well, I say, go back another half an hour or so on the time. And so once we're over Finland, that's kind of when I want to have the full sunset effect. So it's slightly cheating with the time there, but try and get the best visually out of the sim. There are a couple of mods on Nexus for the 748. So you've got updated fuel burn, you've got wing flex correction, but nothing really for cockpit systems wise yet on the 747. Descent's quite easy, Gerd. So, in any aircraft, if you descend 2,000 feet per minute at 250 knots, you'll lose 30,000 feet in 80 nautical miles. So you can kind of use that as a basis to when you start descending. It's not too difficult to judge. 640. I mean, it really comes down to what would be most suitable. For example, travel and tourism, geography. English, quite a good one to have as well, because it means that you've got English proficiency, which is good. And perhaps something like physics. I have seen a couple of missionary bush pilots. And, well, yeah, he's based out in the... I want to say Philippines, but I know it's not the Philippines. It's not Indonesia. It's one of those countries down there. Yeah, because... I know a couple of people also work for the MAF, the Ministry Aviation Fellowship, and a lot of work they do out there is truly amazing, so a lot of support for it. Oh no, what he means by that is the word Lauda in Hindi means penis. And so, for an Indian person right now, we're flying an aeroplane with the word penis stuck on the side of it. Yep. Currently flying on IVAL right now. Currently Unicom, but, well, no controls as it stands. Papua New Guinea, that's it. Papua New Guinea. Thank you for that, Ian. Yeah, so I know a couple of people at the Ministry of Aviation Fellowship who also work out of PNG. Well, the unkind version is dick. Lauda means dick in Hindi. But hey, this is a PG child-safe channel, so block your ears. Thank thank you 738 Max. Glad you enjoyed the watch. Is it smart to install FS20 without a graphics card? No, never use Microsoft Flight Sim without a graphics card, otherwise it will just be a black screen. It's not wise to install any game without a graphics card. Did you say PNG? I missed that one, I'll have to look. So two fixes, either fuel from the centre fuel tank, or downloads the A320neo add-on, and that fixes it. It is past watershed, it's now 10:15 in the UK. Watershed ended an hour and 15 minutes ago. Apparently about 45 minutes to landing. This flight's doing a lot quicker than I thought it would be. Which I ain't moaning about. Well, it's a short haul flight, but very much on the border of medium. Medium was like 4.5, 5 hours. Yep. Well, you need to set the engine ignition switch to start the engines, but engine mode normal for the flight so far. Tell you what, in that case, when I moved that time earlier, we can jump forward a little bit, so we'll go... Yeah, we'll jump forward about 10 minutes. I don't fly Airbus, no, I am not a pilot. Following me would be following just any other random Joe on the streets. I understand what I'm talking about, but I'm not a real pilot. Sure, Philbert, I'll take a look later. Why aren't I a real pilot? Because I don't have £100,000 to spend on becoming one. And because of COVID, it'd be pretty much impossible for me to even start flight training. Welcome, Mr. Underground. Welcome, Aviation. How are you both doing? Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the chats. So, above 10,000 feet, you'll switch from airspeed to Mach. So, right now, we are flying at, well, the three speeds mean the same thing, but we're at 280 knots airspeed, Mach 0.83, or 472 knots ground speed. So, in an aircraft, the way that the speed is calculated is that outside the aeroplane, you have these tubes in the front called pitot tubes. And so what happens is air is being sucked into these tubes, and what it does is it calculates the rate of the airflow and determines the speed of the aeroplane. The higher you go, the less air there is, and as a result, the airspeed indicator will be showing less than it actually is because, well, less air, less being detected, and therefore run out at 280 knots. The ground speed is the speed of the aircraft in miles, or nautical miles, based on the ground level. So at the moment we're going at 469, 470 knots ground speed, which is basically what... So if we're on the ground, if we had full airflow going through the pitot tubes, it would be measuring through that. Mach is the speed of the aircraft based on the speed of sound. So the closer we are to speed of sound, Mach 1, determines our airspeed through that. And so you use different systems depending on your altitude and different setup. Glad you're enjoying it, future realm. Glad you're enjoying it. Why do you have government loans? Because paying them back is also a pain, and like I say, right now with COVID, there's really no flight training going on whatsoever, so it'd just be an easy way to bankrupt myself, basically. Flight time 2 hours 45 minutes. Not too long to go now, not terribly long. While we're here, let's set up our approach. So we're going to stick with the runway 24 approach. That'd be a RNAV. We have a localizer. We've got an ILS-06, but we're on the other side. So RNAV 24. And our approach is the Astep. Astep 2 Alpha today. No wires. With the that's the flight plan there, 2 seconds. Oh gosh, okay, not that, give me 2 seconds. So it's 2-4, that's given. What is going on? Lappeenranta, so it's the 3 Bravo actually is our approach, which is that one. Though something's horribly wrong with that, so let's I'll clear everything off that. So nope, not that one. I'll keep that step. So rather, huh? Okay, if that's the case, I mean I can see the flight plan how it's intended to come in, and so presumably, well, rev up, costs up. Let's just do this all manually, shall we? So, add seb, rev up, costs up, LRAV. So what we're going to do is then just plug that in all manually to the MCDU. So back to you, back to arrival, localizer, 1AB24, no start, insert that. Should clear all the points now at least. Why is it doing that? It's that piecing point for some reason. I don't like that piecing point. Can I clear you? Answer is no. No, we can't. Okay. So go add seb, directs to cost up then. So one thing I don't like about the MCD units, it's not fully customizable, so you do lose out some of the features. Add seb, L. Who's that? D-cell points, yeah. Add seb, D-cell. Pearson's just there for some reason. I wonder if I plug in like that. So Very strange set of approaches they've gone. So, what's the cost up again? Well, for some reason it's going for a rev up as well. Right, Lappeenranta. Arrival. RNAV24. No start. Transition none. Inserts. And if it's just a one-way point that's being funny, then I can always work around that. So, add Seb. Costs up. There's a rubber one there as well, so add Sep. After that, we'll go to Ruvub. Nothing database. Okay, we'll make do with then what we've got, so arrival. RNAV24. Add Seb 3 Bravo. Ah, via Ruvub. Insert that. Aha, there we go, got there in the end. So that's our approach now. So as we come in, fly over the city, come into land. So yeah, I knew I was doing something wrong. So, approach now sorted. Be landing in the next couple of minutes. Well, within the hour. The meta information for Lappeenranta. Let's see if that's any difference to what we were doing earlier. So down to performance. Oh, sorry, next phase. Right. So currently 1017 QNH. Temperature is 6 degrees centigrade. Magnitude and winds 5 knots, heading 280. Yes, that's definitely going to be a 2-4 runway then landing. 5 knot wind is going to be enough to do that. Decision height shall be 2,100 today. Transition altitude is 7,000. So it's a 152 approach, 147 touchdown. That's all fine. See, I'm even not sure when to do time. Okay, we'll leave it at 20 past, so we'll just not touch the time anymore. Let the sim do its one naturally. Yeah, half an hour till landing, 30 minutes. $30 minutes. 30 minutes to landing. Yep, we're using IVAL today, IVAO. IVO is the online ATC network that lets you speak to real people as ATC controllers and other fancy stuff as well. It's a nice little add-on, nice little community. Well worth the look and download. So fuel tanks right now, all normal. left and right tanks full. Fuel pumps have managed that. I've got no problems with fuel today. Still got plenty on board. How do you operate the aircraft? Practice. Lots of practice. Do you reinstall update mods like either Pakistan? Nope. No need to reinstall. All works no problem. Not too far from Lappeenranta. We'll be landing in about half an hour. About 200 miles to go. 200 miles. How's going to descend? Say descend at around 120 miles from the airport. Pretty much the rule of the family cruising at over 30,000. Watching stream using iVal, you have real people, real airlines at whiz end of tons up. How can it be? I assume it's different. So, when you're downloading iVal, make sure you're also installing the Metal package as well. And so, Metal, MTL, is the AI models that is used to showcase real airlines within the sim. 100 degrees on my GPU. Right now, currently running at a nice and cool 67 degrees centigrade. So, not too hot at the moment. Nice and chill. The thumbnail is incorrect because when I created it, I did not yet have the Lauda Motion A320, so I need to update that. Basically, I mean the Lauda delivery I'm using right now, I picked up about 10 minutes before I started streaming because the guy who made it didn't yet send it to me, so massive shout out to the guy who did make delivery, who's done a fine job with that. Just need to update, you live in Lappeenranta, nice one man. I've spent a month in Lappeenranta. It's a very beautiful city. Not too much to do, but certainly enough to keep any old Brit interested. Lappeenranta and Taipalsaari I've been to. Thanks for flying. It's really important for you to go to Lappeenranta. How so? How so? I do plan to buy a new CPU. I'm going to wait for the Asus 4000 series to come out and then make a decision based around that. So about a month to go until it comes. No shortcuts for 320. Oh, there is no inside of view, so if I go to the window and just turn around, it's just a black box. And there's no actual passenger interior, it's just empty. The closer you're going to get is potentially the galleys. Yes, I do show Metal in the iVal video, so I show how to install it, and I also show the in-sim footage as well, where it's full of real-world airlines. So coming up to about 2 hours of flight time now, about an hour and 50 minutes. Landing in around half an hour, 30-ish minutes to landing. Why is that using the Ryanair call sign? Because Ryanair own Lauda, and by the end of the year, they're going to close Lauda, so they're going to cease operations and convert it all to Ryanair. So, last month they stopped using the Lauda call sign, it's now all Ryanair call sign, and soon they're going to sell the A320s and replace the fleet with 73s. So it's technically no longer called Lauda, it's now Ryanair Austria. It's now the official name of this airline. Ryanair Austria. I mean, Ryanair have had a few A320s in the past. I mean, they've had a few wet leases, and all of the Lauda aircraft are Ryanair owned as well. You do also need to remember that back in the late 1990s, Michael O'Leary, the CEO of Ryanair, he always wanted A320s. He wanted an all A320 fleet, but ultimately, because Boeing gave them the cheaper deals for bulk by airlines, they just ultimately stuck with 737s instead. But Michael O'Leary, the CEO of Ryanair, has always wanted an all Airbus fleet. I mean, there are two reasons why Ryanair are big as they are today. The first reason is because their tickets are so cheap, and therefore they can create demand for any airport they fly to, and can sustain the passenger capacity. The second reason is because back in September of 2001, so you had the September 11 attacks in the US, which pretty much destroyed aviation, well, shook it to its core, that's for sure. Nobody was flying, airlines couldn't afford aircraft, and it just was a bad, dire time for aviation. But Ryanair were looking for new aeroplanes, and so they're looking to increase their fleets by 150. They first went to Airbus, who refused to give them a discount, and so Boeing stepped up and were offering some really heavy discount on their 737-800s, so they bought them in bulk, and Ryanair eventually then placed the order of 150 with Boeing. And so, because of the September 11 attacks, just because of how cheap everything had become, Ryanair were able to capitalise on that and buy themselves a new, cheap, modern fleet to run them basically till the end of time. And so, they took the low-cost method off of Southwest Airlines and pushed it to the extreme. They ordered airplanes in bulk and pushed discounts to the extreme, and they sell their tickets at really low prices and push that to the extreme. And so that's how Ryanair operates. They push everything to the extremes. Let me try and find it. Where is it? There we go. Not from Dublin. I don't fly from Dublin. What's give me the Irish deals? Give me a second. There you go, Great Britain. Nope, never been to Brussels airports. So, you look at Ryanair's websites. There you go. Flights from London Stansted. You can go to Alicante for £8, Almira, you can look around. You got all these flights for $7.99. So pretty much anywhere in Europe. We can go to Lviv for $7.99. I might do that actually at some point. But just look, That's how cheap Ryanair is. Now at $9.99 for even more destinations. Barcelona, $9.99. Budapest, $9.99. Cologne, $9.99. Valencia, $9. Madrid, $9. Turin, Verona. Belfast for $11. Oslo for $12. I mean, Ryanair can fit an aircraft on pips and still make money at that. From Gatwick, you got Cork for £7. Luton goes to Barcelona for £7. Bilbao from Southend for 7. Mallorca for 7. It's like, just look at this. This is how cheap this is to fly in Europe. It's crazy. Let me mean here, I'm actually increase the time by 10 minutes. And then I'm going to stop touching time from now on, that should be alright. What about hidden costs? Well, you book a seat, you don't pay for a... Sorry, you book a ticket, you don't pay for a seat, you don't pay for extra luggage, you don't pay for priority. There are no hidden costs. The reason why people get £100 tickets out of a £5 flight is because they pay 20 quid for a seat, they pay £20 for an extra suitcase, they pay £20 for priority boarding, and so that's why you end up with the high prices, because you buy all the extras. If you don't buy any extras, you pay 7 quid. So when I went to Oslo 2 years ago, I did that return trip for about £18. Prices are always that cheap. Regardless, because of COVID, Ryanair prices are always that cheap. It's cheaper to take a Ryanair flight than it's to take a train in the UK. And that's saying something. Thank you, Ido. I'm glad you found it helpful. So we should now be nearing the Baltic Sea. There we go. So we're flying over whichever airport that is, Hotel Lima. And it's pretty much just a water crossing. We're coming into Lappeenranta. Not too long to go now. Not too long. ETA 25 minutes. Yeah, 25 minutes. What do you mean flights should not be that cheap? I mean, it's a common thing. I mean, right near that price, you have EasyJet, who are a little more expensive, but not by much. Wizz Air, in some cases, they're even cheaper. I mean, they fly to Moscow from London for £20 one way. £40 return Moscow, I ain't complaining about. And that's because... Well, the reason it's so cheap to fly in Europe is because, unlike the US, aviation prices are not regulated. In America, the government control a lot of the flight prices between cities. Well, at least they used to, but back in the 1990s, Southwest Airlines challenged the government in court and eventually won, therefore no longer had to follow the regulated flight prices. But because American prices was regulated for so many years, they are still sky high. Nowadays, look at someone like Spirit Airlines. It's possible to fly from New York to Baltimore for about $15–20, and so Spirit are now starting to bring in the low-cost flights, but still a lot a way to go, really. But I'd say, look at Spirit. They're doing a fine job at trying to bring these prices down. So we're going to start our descent in just a couple of minutes. We're 37 now, 35, so actually now would be a good time to start our descents. So it's 2,100 we want. And we'll do that around we'll go 260 knots at 2,000 feet per minute descent. Traffic mode right now, all off. Traffic's off, and we're using IVAO for ATC and AI models. We're not descending. Pull, please, pull. There we go. There we go, 2,000 feet per minute. Okay, we're down to 2,500, which is a little bit on the higher side right now. But we won't leave it for too long. So the map on Train Sim is third rails map.
Customs at our destination, flight attendants will begin handing out forms momentarily. Please review and complete these forms and keep them with you for presentation upon arrival.
Oh yeah, so Ryanair do fly to, well, in some occasions they fly outside the city. In some occasions they fly directly to the city. So for example, Oslo, they fly directly to Gardermoen, which is the main airport. But some cities they do fly to smaller airports. The worst offender is Paris Beauvais. So Ryanair fly to Paris, quote unquote, but Beauvais, where they actually land, is about 220 kilometers away from Paris. It's actually closer to go to Calais than it is to the capital. I won't touch it, but I'm going to go back for another 5 minutes. Just want to get the right sunset in. I'm reading the Twitch comments, Bogey, but your comments are not making much sense. I mean, why would I talk about something that sucks than respond to normal questions? Oh, nobody denies that Ryanair have had a few dodgy things in the past, and potentially still do. Nobody denies that. But, again, for a price at €5 ticket, most people ignore that, basically. But modelling in Warsaw is a bit different to Paris and Calais. That's why I chose IV over VATSIM, because my VATSIM account has been suspended and they do not want to talk to me about it, so I gave up on them basically. They gave up on me, I gave up on them. It's a sad way to end your VATSIM career, but hey. I'm not complaining, IVO are a more than fine network, and now that they no longer use TeamSpeak, I like it. I mean, the Altitude client is very clean. You actually get more people using IVO than VATSIM. VATSIM has less users generally than IVO, and it's just, I don't know, there are parts of the network that I do much prefer over the VATSIM network. I mean, yes, VATSIM have the partnership with Microsoft, but it hasn't really done anything for their benefit apart from, oh look, here's a name. Wow. I don't want the cabin announcements in Finnish. Oh gosh. Hi, mitä kuuluu? Hyvää vuotta. En puhu suomea. There you go, you want your cabin announcements in Finnish? Hi, mitä kuuluu? Hyvää vuotta. En puhu suomea. There you go, you get your announcement in Finnish. It makes no sense and probably leaves passengers thinking what's going on in the cockpit. You wanted it. I'm actually going down to about 3,000 feet per minute, so we're a bit on the high end right now. Conduct start, continental power. Turn on the batteries and external power. The only sandwich you carry during Europe is Eurowings. They do a good job. It's not even EasyJet or Wizz Air. I mean, they're relatively fine airlines. I use SimBrief, my graphs and charts. SimBrief. Oh gosh, Hyvats Hyvats Matkustajats Tallapuhu Kaptini. Okay. Let's give that a go, shall we? Hyvats Matkustajats Tallapuhu Kaptini. Savumme Lappeenrantaan 15 minuutin kuluttua. Pidän kaikkia matkusta kiinnittämään turvajat. That was a horrible attempt at that, but Hyvät matkustajat, Tallapuhu kapteeni. Saavumme Lappeenrantaan 15 minuutin kuluttua. Pidän kaikkia matkusta kiinnittämään turvajat. It sounded so bad. That was horrible. Hey, worked with us there. Nice one, Maciusz. There you go. Proper announcements in Finnish. Just a shame the passengers now leaving with even more questions than the last one. Sounds like a tourist. Satisfaction 200%. Might as well be for that. Put the efforts in. Get the reward, please. 96% right now. Let's, what are we now? 20,000. We'll turn on the seatbelt sign. And we'll tell passengers to do the same. Suomi, Finland, Perkele. I wish I could have rolled my R's properly. That's the one thing I like about Finnish. Rolling the R's. I'm not using self-loading cargo. I'm using PAX. Completely different add-on. Nope. No engine failure issue. Something like that. The more the closer I get to Finland, the more Finns that end up appearing in the chats. I ain't complaining. Like I say, I do love Finland. I do love Finnish people. They're probably the nicest people I've met in my travels around Europe. And so, yeah, always appreciates the viewership. About 40 miles now, so I need to be at 2,100. Actually, a bit more than that. Like 50 miles for I need to be at 2,000. Passing 18 now. We'll need to send a bit shallower when we get close to 10,000 so that we can actually get below 250 knots. So what we're going to do is increase our descent rate slightly more now. We'll increase speed, but we'll then use the latter parts of the descent to soon things out. Yes, mention Finland and we will suddenly appear. That's actually, is that not like, I'm sure it's like a trope in Finland. The moments that someone announces Finland internationally, every Finn knows about it, because it never happens. The other one is Finland does not exist, it's a Japanese fishing colony. It was all a myth created by the Soviet Union and Nazi Germany to fill in the gap between Scandinavia and Russia. A320neo today, flying the Lauda Motion A320. So I wouldn't do this again, but I'm going to go back by another 5 minutes. So I want to get a proper sunset approach into Lappeenranta. Yeah, that should do us alright. Oh yeah, like I say, I'm not great with Finnish, but I can understand enough of a conversation to get a basic understanding of what that's said. So if I go for a basic English translation, which is probably going to be wrong, but where is it? Where is that message? There you go. So that's like good evening. This is your captain speaking. We are now approaching into Lappeenranta. And then that next bit, I genuinely have an understanding. Right, we're actually just below 10,000 now, so what I need to do is quite quickly... I'll actually probably stop descending altogether for a bit, down to 230 knots, speed brakes
We have
armed.
begun our final descent into your destination. Flight attendants will be passing through the cabin to collect any trash one final time. Please ensure tray tables are stowed and seats are in a full
There we
upright
go.
position. Please also store any carry-on items either in the seat back pocket or under the seat in front of you.
Below 10,000, landing lights active. Flaps down 1. Nope, never been to Belgium. Not sure about that angle of attack right there. Seems a bit down pitchy, that. So at this point, we're not too far from the Finno-Russian border, which is about here. Our approach takes us over Imatra before making a westerly heading and heading straight into Lappeenranta. In fact, that's the runway right there. Not long to go now. And yes, because of current winds, we shall be landing on runway 24, which is not the main runway here at Lappeenranta 09 is. But it's enough to get us down safely. Down to about 200 knots. And descent rates will increase slightly. High 7 below Hamina. Yeah, I'd put that around Hamina here. I'm gonna say my geography. Well, actually, I've spent a month in Lappeenranta, so I know the basic area around here. So you've got Lappeenranta, you've got Taipalsaari and Mikkeli to the north, Imatra to the east, and Kurvola to the west. And so yeah, south you're gonna have Hamina. QNH 1017. I mean, if you go back to the start of this stream, back when I was at Vienna, I do use an active controller, and so using it with controller is nice and easy. Well, not... if you know what you're doing, you know what you're doing. It's not too difficult. So, Lake Saimaa is just going to the upper head now. Just there is the city of Lappeenranta and the airport. My altitude right now is just under 5,000, 4,600. We're descending at around 300 feet per minute. I've ordered a 3080, although it may take like a month for it to get to. I do love the sunsets over Lake Saimaa. It's a very beautiful part of the world, this finished lakeland. So we're now over South Karelia. Blood orange sky. And a very nice haze to the world. The city of Lappeenranta to our left now. Nearly there, guys. We are nearly there. My settings are high or ultra. I've got a video on it on my sim. Yep, we are using realistic weather. Remember the VREF speed, so it will be 156, or was it 152? Approach, 147, touchdown. I can turn on the landing reference if I wanted to, but being a... Huh. Well, this... I didn't... It shouldn't be an ILS. It shouldn't be an ILS. Oh, the 06, yeah. The other way around. So, that ILS is basically useless to us. Find the Lauda Motion A320. And Lauda Motion are owned by Ryanair and use the Ryanair call sign. So, yes, we are flying the real-life Ryanair A320. Welcome, Reddy. How you doing? Do you think chase planes are needed? No. Chase plane, you don't need it in Microsoft Flight Sim. The camera is more than good enough. Yeah, so Ryanair bought a 25% stake in Lauda Motion back in 2016. Then when Niki Lauda died, Ryanair bought the rest of the 75%. So Ryanair now own Lauda Motion, and until last month they were still Lauda call sign Lauda flights, but last month they rebranded to Ryanair Austria, and so now all Lauda flights operate Ryanair flight numbers, Ryanair call signs. Fuel the center tank. On Friday after the Cessna 172. I do fly smaller airplanes. I do smaller planes during the week and leave the weekend for bigger airplanes. Kind of balance out a little bit. I do a mix. I do a fair mix. Alright, so in front of us now, that's going to be Micheli. Sorry, that's Imatra, sorry. I'm not sure what town that is. And then Lappeenranta just to our left hand side now. So we'll be approaching right into that sunset. Let's bring it down to 190 knots. Seems quite low that, but 2,100 is when you used to be at row of costs up for the approach, so it makes sense. We're coming up to the final now at least, so not long till landing. UN, so that's it, sorry, Jutseno, thank you for that, Antimon it. Jutseno, that's it. So I know that the trains do stop here as well between Imatra and Lappeenranta. Right, it's down to 180. Flaps 2. I play racing sims from time to time. I'm currently looking at the next Test Drive Unlimited. I'm very excited for that one, being a long-time TDU2 user. Right. Cabin crew, please be seated for landing. Right, 10 miles, gear down to 152. Flaps 4. Spoilers armed, braking minimum. At this point, we'll take manual control of the aircraft in. So gear down, 3 greens, braking set, landing lights active, spoilers armed, cabin secure, we have landing clearance. Let's bring the aircraft in. Just like I said, there's no ILS approaching this airport, well there is for the runway 09, but not for 24, which comes in over the city. And so the only reason we're doing this right now is because it is currently a 19 knots headwind right now. And therefore, so on the few occasions where we do land over the city and not via the other side like they normally do. I think we are late. Expected arrival in 30 minutes. We're about half an hour early. We'll give or take taxi time. We've got a screenshot. Let me hide the UI. To the right now, so we are combating a slight crosswind. Nothing too crazy. So coming in now over the hospital and sports stadium. To the right, that's, sorry, just there, that's going to be Lappeenranta Harbour. During New Year's, I spent the, well, I spent New Year's there, watching the fireworks show. 1,000. That crosswind slightly getting to us, but small adjustments will do this no problem. Just getting a bit of rudder in right now.
500.
There we go. That's looking good.
400. 300. 200. 100.
Committed.
60, 50, 40, 30, 20. Retard. 5.
And touchdown. Reverse thrust sets. 200 feet per minute. More than acceptable. 100 knots. 80 knots. 60 knots reverse thrust cuts. So it takes us to the end of the runway. We'll do a 180 turn, and then we'll head back to the terminal. We'll do an anti-clockwise turn.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have reached our destination. The local time is 7:38 p.m. and it's currently about 14 degrees Celsius. You can now use your mobile devices. Please remain seated until the aircraft has come to a complete stop and the seatbelt sign is turned off. Remember to use caution when opening the overhead bins, as items may have shifted during the flight. If this is your final destination, we thank you for flying with us. If you're making a connection, we encourage you to check your itinerary to ensure a smooth continuation of your journey.
Not here at Lappeenranta, it's just using Unicom right now. I'm using the Thrustmaster Hotas Warthog. Thrustmaster Warthog. Yeah, so Prisma Supermarket, and that's out of final. I might actually have a look. So before we end the stream, I'm going to have a look around the scenery, see if I can try and spot some of the things. Because things, well, Prisma you've spotted there. Isla Christina is going to be another big one to spot in Lappeenranta. We'll have a look at the harbour as well. Armada as well. That's going to be another big one to try and spot if Armada is there. Turn off the flight director, we don't need that anymore. Still on the runway, so landing lights stay on. We'll turn on the APU since we'll have a couple of minutes on the ground to taxi. Temperature right now is 14 degrees centigrade. 14 degrees. Welcome ready. Way too smooth for Ryanair. I mean, it's an Airbus aircraft, they're not that difficult to land. So to our right, that's the GA area, and then that there is terminal. And terminal's not exactly well, it looks absolutely nothing like the real Lappeenranta terminal. It's not exactly a massive facility. And Sim goes and well, let me tell you, if Lappeenranta looks like that in real life, it'd be a much busier airport than it is today, that's for sure. Alright, so APU starting, landing lights off, taxi lights set. Off the runway now, so flaps can come up. What do you mean by the high number, Sayu? Looks like Gibraltar, really? I don't see the comparison there. Going uphill now, so more thrusting just to get the airplane moving again. Right. And halts. Parking brake sets. APU is available, so APU active. Engines off. Beacons off. Taxi lights off. And let's greet our passengers, shall we? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Lappeenranta. Local time right now is 1:30 in the morning. Local temperature 60 degrees centigrade. A flight time today of 2 hours and 20 minutes. We thank you for flying Lauda Motion today, and we hope you have a safe and pleasant onward journey. Tervetuloa Lappeenrantaan. Pidämme, että jäätte itsumaan, kunnes kiinnittää turvajon merkki on sammettu. Cabin crew design rules and cross check. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Lappeenranta. Local time right now is so that's all set up. We'll turn on some dome lights, so you actually have some lights in the cockpit right now. Not that one, sorry. I need. We thank you for flying Lauda Motion today, and we hope you have a safe and pleasant journey. Tervetuloa Lappeenrantaan. Pidämme, että jäätte. There we go. So, yeah, overall, not too bad. Nice sense of satisfaction. Passengers are slowly, well, waiting to deboard the aircraft now. So there's a queue that has formed. And so they're just waiting now for us to open the doors. So let's see if actually the facilities exist here in Lappeenranta. Ground services, tune ground. No, it doesn't. Okay. So it just gets the cabin crew to expedite deboarding.
We'll see what we can do. No problem.
So the passengers add on this PAX, TFDI design PAX. So the music right now is the real Lauda Motion boarding music. And so whenever you take off and land, this is the music actually play in the cabin. So the flight's over now. We'll end the flights and we'll go through the end of flight report. So slightly ahead of schedule. It would have been nice to see the airline. You do get a free meal in the Lauda. It's pretty standard that. Recommend your work. Tell your friends about the airline. So far so good. So it was 200 feet per minute touchdown rates. It would be nice to see that measured in G's as well, but not something that's the sim really does at this point in time, so hey. So yeah, FR 9759 A320neo, Vienna to Lappeenranta, 2 hours 40-minute flight time, so not too bad that. We did gain a couple of minutes in the air. So we planned to pass at 1956, passed at 1957, we planned to arrive at 2241, we arrived at 2213. 153 on board, 97% satisfaction, and block time 229. Save that. Hopefully if it goes to plan, I can now send you the flight plan in the thing as well, if this hasn't glitched, which I think it may have actually done now. Yeah, PAX has just gone under... Ooh, the whole thing's on paywall now, hasn't it? Okay, we'll just collect. So, yeah, so we'll go to drone cam, we'll have a look around the airport, we'll have a look around the city of Lappeenranta. like I say, I've actually been here in real life. I've spent about a month in total in this city, and so there's a few things I can want to see if the sim does it right. But what can you say? Lauda Motion 320 in Lappeenranta. So, Prisma, yes, that's going to be around here. I mean, it's an office block, but hey. Coming up now to... Well, there's the entry road into Taipei. So this is going to be the Lappeenranta harbour. And, well, I mean, with the satellite imagery and all that, let's put a bit of daytime in, so you can actually see it properly. I guess this is Lappeenranta harbour. And, well, you can see where the water goes around. You can see where the fortress is as well. And so, yeah, for AI generated scenery, that's actually not that bad. Got a few fishing ports over there. There you go. That's definitely Isla Christina. That is, well, that actually is very nicely done there. It's got the bridges leading up to the shopping centre itself. You've got the whole building complex which shapes like that and genuinely looks like that in some cases. You're going to have Armada. Armada is... Hang on, there's the harbour, so you walk down. Armada is there. That's Armada. Yeah, that's it's rather close, or it actually looks like in real life here. You've got the hill here as well. There's the paper mill, the paper factory. Well, the chimney is an office block. They tried. Also, if you're ever in Lappeenranta, I highly recommend, what's the burger place called? Tuengrilli. It's local here and very nice burgers, not too expensive either. You're going to have the hospital nearby as well. The hospital that everybody hates, just here. The apartment blocks actually kind of look like the realistic ones as well. Yeah, this is a very nice rendition of Lappeenranta this. I do like it a lot. At nights, just, yeah, it's amazing. So, yeah, like I say, that brings us to the end of our stream today. Yeah, carrying out some by PAX. It's a good add-on. I like PAX. Well worth the money. So, thank you very much for watching today. Do leave a like if you enjoyed it. Do subscribe if you haven't done so already. And I will hopefully see you again in the very near future. Take care, have a good evening, and have a good night.